Hey, thanks so much for joining us here on 90s Plus on this Tuesday morning, a cool one. A cooler Tuesday, certainly compared to what we've had over the last few days. I'm 90s meteorologist Chris Bianchi with the detailed look at your Colorado weather forecast. And again, off to a cool start this morning. We actually dropped down to 48 degrees. That made it our coolest morning since June the 17th. That's 80 days since we were last this cool. I'll say this as well here, folks. Normally by this time we've had a morning down into the upper 40s. Unusual for us to have waited this late into the fallish season. I know it's technically summer, but into the fallish season, have a morning this cool. But hey, we're getting it, and I'll tell you firsthand, it was delightful for a morning run out there. Bit of that kind of crisp, not quite fall air mass, but maybe a bit of a taste of fall out there this morning. But temperatures have already rebounded pretty nicely, looking pretty nice. A few areas may have seen a little dusting of snow at the highest elevations here of the northern mountains overnight as well. But all that spinning on out of the way as we had a storm system pass off to our north. That's leading to some rain and some storms for us into the upper Midwest and the Dakotas and Minnesota. But for us here in Colorado, we mostly got sideswiped by that storm system. We did see a few showers and storms far northern Colorado at the tail end of that system yesterday. Temperatures right now, a lot of 70s on the eastern plains, 50s, 60s into the high country right now. And for today, we'll get up to about 80 degrees, mostly sunny skies. Very, very nice out there. It's just a gorgeous day. This is award-winning weather we're talking about. Again, 80 degrees, sunshine, no storm chances, no rain chances. And by the way here, folks, those rain chances basically going to be shut down until the weekend. So as we got a dry few days ahead for us, temperatures mostly in the 80s for us in the eastern plains, a few upper 70s, maybe even a few mid-70s. In a few cool spots on the eastern plains. You get into the high country, a lot of 60s and 70s, depending on your elevation. Winter Park at 63. Again, I don't think too many folks complaining about this. Very nice weather overall. And today, unlikely to be our 37th 90 degree day or above so far this year. I mentioned it's already 70 degrees right now, but very unlikely to get to 90 degrees. I would say basically no chances of that. And that will snap a streak of 6 consecutive days at 90 or above, and also 17 of the past 21 days we've been at 90 or above here in Denver. Another thing I'll also say about that, this start to September, the first 4 days of the month of September, our second warmest start to September on record. And I've talked about this before. In fact, meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen is going to have a detailed story on this later on today. September's have basically just become August 2.0, where we felt the impact of a warming climate here in Colorado, and it's mostly been felt during the fall months. It's been September, October, and November. There's some indications that even the middle part of winter has turned perhaps a bit colder and snowier in recent years, but it's really in the fall where temperatures have spiked, and maybe, again, it's hard to equate exact weather with climate science, but there are certainly some strong indications that September's and October's and November's have turned quite a bit warmer in recent years, not only in Denver, but along the Front Range and throughout Colorado. Tonight, temperatures drop back into the upper 50s for us. It's a bit on the breezy side. It's cooler. It's a very nice evening overall. Temperatures in the mountains, 30s and 40s. Probably just about to see your breath up there into the high country at 10,000 feet or above. Tomorrow, though, if you like this cooler and very kind of, I guess, fall-ish weather, tomorrow, well, goodbye to that. It's back to summer as temperatures near 90 degrees for us, mostly sunny skies. It is on the breezy side, and again, warmer for us for your day tomorrow. Temperatures near 90 degrees. Some low 90s in the southeast plains and the mountains, 70s and 80s. So again, this is back to summer for us here as we get into your day tomorrow, and it's going to stay this way the rest of the week here, folks. So that precipitation forecast overall, we got not much of which to speak of. Look, basically not a drop of rain through Thursday across the state. So 7-day forecast is what it shakes out like. We'll probably be talking about more 90-degree days by Thursday and Friday and Saturday. So undoubtedly, once we break down the numbers and we get into the start of the weekend, this is going to be our warmest start to a September on record. We've had already 4 days at 90 or above so far this year. The record for most 90-degree days in the month of September is 10. We're going to be pretty close to that already by the time we get to the start of the weekend. And of course, Saturday is, let me do the quick math here. That would be September the 9th. So 9 days into the month, and we'll already be at about 7 or 8 days at 90 or above so far this month. So you get the point here, folks. This is a very unusually warm start to September, but this continues a recent trend. If you've been here for the last 10, 15 years, September's used to be a month where we would get fairly regular snowfall, and we would actually get snowstorms even mid to end part of September. We've only had measurable snowfall once in the last 20 years here in Denver, and that was back in 2020. You might remember that. In fact, fun weather fact, as I continue to ramble about different things. Fun weather fact, 3 years ago today, it hit 101 degrees in Denver, and you might remember what happened 3 days later, is it snowed. We got an inch of snow in Denver on September the 8th. That was, again, 3 years ago today, where it hit 101, and then 3 days later, it snowed. That, to me, still probably the wildest weather thing I can remember in my recent memory here in Denver. Meantime, next week, if you're looking for a bit more of that fall-like taste, we'll get some of that next week. Meantime, a couple of quicker sports weather updates. We got some big games coming up this weekend. Nebraska at Colorado, the Buffs, prime time. Everybody all excited about that, right? Temperatures mid-80s for us. Should be pretty nice. I would just say, if you can, get a shaded seat if you're going to Folsom. It's going to be a bit of a sunny day, and it's going to, I don't know, 10 a.m. kick. Game ends at 1. You're going to get a lot of sun. You're going to get a lot of sun if you're sitting in those and if you're facing the sun. You get my point here. And by the way, also better in Fort Worth. I don't know what genius decided that a game at noon in Fort Worth, Texas on September the 2nd was a good idea, but anyways, it looked like all those players were just completely sweating, and they were happy because they won, but it was obviously a pretty hot game back on Saturday in Fort Worth, Texas. Then, of course, the Broncos, they got their opener against the Raiders on Sunday at 2:25 here at Empower Field at Mile High. And we're going to have a chance for some showers and storms by the weekend. So if you're looking ahead to the Bronco game right now, we'll leave a chance for showers and storms in there. We'll get a bit of a better idea. It depends on the timing of a cold front. There's, again, 5 days out, still a lot that can happen between now and then. But this could give way. I'll say this, there's a bit of a better indication that next week looks to be cooler and perhaps a bit wetter. I think we could get our first widespread mountain snowfall above, say, 10,000 feet in elevation. This is not a big deal. Normally we've had something like this by now. So the fact that this will happen next week is a little almost late in the game. Usually by the 3rd or 4th week of August, we've had at least a dusting of snow on the mountain tops, and here along the Front Range, we've at least dropped down into the upper 70s. We'll see that, it looks like, next week. So if you're looking for that kind of taste of fall, I know a lot of you are, because it's been basically for the last month. It seems like the Mother Nature's really turned on the furnace here for the last month or so. It looks like next week. We'll see the degree of it, but I would anticipate that you might want to break out those hoodies for the first time this season next Monday, next Tuesday, with temperatures. They'll probably drop down in the 70s for a high temperature in Denver, with overnight lows upper 40s, low 50s. And unlike today, we're kind of getting a brief little one-day look at this fall-like spell. Looks like most of next week's going to be on the cooler side. And what I mean by cooler side is fairly close to seasonal averages, with highs in the upper 70s, mid to upper 70s, and lots of sunshine with some showers earlier on in the week. So we'll keep you posted on that as we get a bit closer. But in the meantime, it's a beautiful day out there. So as much as we love having you here on 9 News Plus, we want you here on 9 News Plus, today's the day to get outside. Get outside, go spend the afternoon, the evening for a little stroll, something like that, because it is, again, just gorgeous out there. And again, the rest of the week, it warms back up. We'll be near 90 basically all week long and into the start of the upcoming weekend. Meteorologist Greg Perez right over there. He's getting ready for 9 News at noon, and he'll be here at 2 p.m. here on 9 News Plus as well with an update for you. Then we'll have Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin in at 4 and 5, and Meteorologist Danielle Grant is back, and she'll be in at 6, 9, 10 tonight on the 9 News Family of Networks. Once again, I'm Meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Thanks for joining us here on 9 News Plus. Have a great rest of your Tuesday.